Hello, my name is Derek O'Neill, and I'm here to help you today to help yourself with what's going on with this coronavirus all over the world. I have been a wellness teacher and spiritual teacher for the past 40 odd years, and during that time I have learned some very powerful teachings and techniques that are hugely helpful at times like this to help us all to particularly understand what's going on and to understand the mechanism of spirituality within a human concept. Now, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. The one aspect of training that I took 25 years ago as a psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, hypnoanalyst, one sentence that really stuck out in those trainings was what the mind sees, it perceives. And keeping that in mind, it means that the more fear we go into, the more fear we attract. The body, of course, retracts when we go into fear instead of keeping its protective barriers in the form of energy, in the form of thoughts, in the form of understanding out there and up. I myself had a scare many years ago with potential cancer scare. And what I decided I would use then, because of my many years of martial arts training, was techniques rather than medications. Now, I am definitely not saying medications is not to be taken. Absolutely, doctors, and I am not a doctor. Doctors are a source of health and well-being that should be consulted and listened to every individual's own case. Myself, I use techniques that I'd like to share with you now, specifically at this time, which hopefully will be helpful to you, your family, the community and the world. And one of those, of course, is the scientific understanding that everything on the planet has a frequency measurement, and that measurement is vitally important for even the scientific world to understand. Like, for instance, they say that when the heart is open and full of love, it is vibrating at 432 megahertz, whilst fear is a completely different energy measurement. And so that being said, obviously we'd all like to stay in the 432 measurement, and again, in order to help ourselves to do that, one thing I would suggest is that we utilize systems that have been proven to work in the past. The first thing that I'd like to help you with is to help you to understand how to boost your immune system. Now, one of the easiest ways, strangely enough, to do this, and why it's important to do some of what I'm about to tell you, is because even in some of the movements that I will talk to you about, the reason why the movements are important is because it keeps the lymphatic system flowing, which of course is going to help the white blood cells, the T cells, which are the cells that help us to fight viruses, are activated and come into play. It's strange that everybody, talking on the television, and I understand why, they have to keep those stern faces on, but if they smiled, and I know you can smile when stuff is happening, but you can smile at home. Just by doing this, you're releasing endorphins, which will help you to fight the virus that is here to awaken us to humanity again, to awaken us to spirituality. This is a time when your faith, no matter what faith or what tradition you come from, your faith is going to be challenged, and no better time than to use the teachings of your faith, the teachings that you have seen or work, and utilize those at this time to keep yourself, your family and your community healthy. Listen to the advice that's being put out there by the various organizations, but only take this advice in the sense of love. It's loving advice, it's not fearful advice, but people are attaching fear to it. And where fear is, illness is; where love is, illness cannot be. So never a better time to leaning on teachings that are, free, easy to do, and helpful to all concerned. So the first technique I'd like to teach you is a very simple, what we call, sometimes it's called a square, sometimes it's called a box, sometimes it's called a protective breathing technique. This is a technique where you literally count to 4 or whatever is comfortable for you. So anywhere between the range of 4 and 7. But what you basically do is you breathe in to the count of, I'm going to use 5. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose to the count of 5. And out to the count of 5. This will begin to calm your system. Now, after calming your system, you want to then give your system a boost, to give your immune system a boost. And this is where the movement and the breaths and the timing all begin to come in together. So the movement is, your hands are going to be extended. I know you can't see them on this video, but they're just simply extended out. And as you bring your breath into the count of 5, you just touch your hands over your head. You hold your breath for 5. And then as you exhale to the count of 5 and hold to the count of 5. And then inhale, this time dropping your hands to the count of 5. And hold for a count of 5. And then back up to the count of 5, breathing in. And up to the count of 5 after holding for 5. And that's the simplest and yet very effective technique. It'll calm your fears, it'll calm your nervous system, it'll heighten your lymphatic system, it will help your system to begin to fight anything in there that is not wanted. On the subject of viruses and stuff that's not wanted, the next technique is a technique I use myself, as I said, when I got a cancer scare many years ago. And this technique is very simple, but let me tell you, it is extraordinarily effective. I've shared this technique with many people over the years who have reported back amazing results. So it's an old game that was called Pac-Man. It's this yellow dot that goes eating and chasing down the ghost, but whilst it's doing so, it's eating all these little balls of energy. So utilising that technique, I want you to imagine for me now that you are going to just take 3 deep breaths. Count of 5, hold for 5, and out for 5, this time through the mouth. And you do that 3 times. And when you've done it 3 times, you just close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just allow yourself to relax. For the next while, there's nothing for you to do. Just allow yourself to relax. Nobody wants anything, nobody's looking for anything, nobody expects anything. Nothing whatsoever for you to do except to relax. And just imagine now, and do the physical movement. Just imagine now you have this little Pac-Man, and just imagine you're just dropping Pac-Man now into your system. And he's in your body now. And this is a very special Pac-Man, because what he's about to do is he's about to search your body. And so just watch him now. Watch him as he goes around different parts of your body. And what he's looking for is he's looking for this virus or anything else that's out of alignment with your health and well-being. And I want you to just now watch him as he begins to find whatever he might find. It'd be great if he finds nothing, but if he does find it, don't question what he's found or how he's found it. Just allow him, just watch him consuming it. And in order to do that, imagine that anything that's misqualified in your body is like little black balls. And I want you to imagine now the Pac-Man just eating those balls and just transforming them into health and well-being for yourself. That's good. And just do this for 10 or 15 minutes, twice a day, if you have the time, but at least once. And whilst he's doing that now, I want you to just allow him to continue to do whatever it is he's doing. And I want you to imagine your body covered in this beautiful gold egg of light, this protective energy, this protective love, this prayer of divine grace. And just cover your body now in this beautiful gold protective loving egg, again helping you to stay healthy and happy. And just allow that now to just continue in your being. And as I say, just keep in mind that I know we have to listen to the news to find out what's going on, but we don't have to constantly keep dipping ourselves into that fear-making news. At the end of the day, we can just keep up to date with the important and relevant things by just looking in every now and again. And when you're in a state of grace, thanking the divine source, God, whatever you wish to call it, for your health and well-being, thanking it for all the gifts that you have been given, then you might begin to come outside of yourself and begin to serve others in a physical way by just knocking at your elderly neighbours' doors and just saying, are you okay? Keeping that social distance that seems to be helpful, but not from a fear based again, but from a love base, where love is present, disease cannot be. And just making sure that everybody in your community is okay. This is a time to wake up to what Mother Nature is trying and has been trying to tell us for a long time now, that we're abusing her, that these viruses that she would once have absorbed into her system can no longer be absorbed into her system because we are doing stupid stuff like cutting down the rainforests and the trees, effectively probably cutting away the very herbs and medicines that will be required by humanity to help us to stay well and healthy. So maybe each and every one of us in our own little way can address this, and it's a simple way. Begin to just plant your own few vegetables, even on your window ledges in your apartments or whatever. Perhaps go even bigger, plant a tree and begin to acknowledge our Mother Nature for her help. So as I say, this is not a time to go into fear. This is a time to be in love. Be in love with yourself, the world, and everybody in it. And serve people, even when people are being dramatic, even when people are being outright rude. Like if there was comments on this video, I'm sure people will have good comments. But then we'll probably have people who will have silly comments. And our job is to just understand that this is their anger that they cannot release, and they're spreading it like a virus, like venom. They spread that anger, and in doing so contaminate everybody around them. But it's not their fault. It's just that they're not capable of dealing with that anger for themselves. So they try to hurt and harm other people with it. So anger is also a virus that needs to be addressed within each and every one of us as a much more pointed type of virus. So keeping that in mind, I'd like to just send you all the love and light of consciousness, the teachings of the divine which are all around us, the teachings of nature which are vitally important now to observe, and to ask each and every one of you to utilize these simple exercises for your own well-being. And if and when you feel the benefits of them, pass them on to others. They're free of charge, except they are charged with Prima Agni, the fire of divine love. And I've already put out a video of this Prima Agni symbol, which is a unification symbol that brings us all together instead of separating. Spirituality brings us together, and this is the time now when your spiritual bank account will be more important than your materialistic bank account. Your spiritual bank account should be drawn on now to help you to keep well. Thank you for listening. My name is Derek O'Neill. I'm an Irish man who will be celebrating Patrick's Day this year at home with myself, but inviting all of you in to join me for a pint of Guinness in the etheric world as we toast all the teachings of all the traditions around the world. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for listening. Namaste. Hands together are the new handshake. Thank you.